Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'll be showing you how you can fill the form IMM5709 while you're applying for student visa extension. So recently I applied for student visa extension and filled the application for it. So keep watching the video till the end as I'll be telling you step by step on how you can fill this form on your own and file your application. If you find this video helpful, please subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends. So without any further ado, let's get started with the video now. So first thing is when you start filling this form, you'll see that this form it basically says it is an application to change conditions, extend my stay or remain in Canada as a student. So basically you are applying for a student visa extension. So that's what it says, just to make sure that you have got the right form which you're going to fill. Then the first thing that you have to fill is the UCI number. So it is a number that is given on your student visa that you would have got once you landed here in Canada. So you would have got a document in which there is a UCI number being mentioned. You can use that number. It is a digital number. I think it is of 10 digits number. You can use that number. So in a while, I'll show you the student visa document on how you can find this particular number. So the next thing is what you have to fill in the second column is it says I want to service this application. You want to fill this application in which language? So let's say you want to fill it in English, so you can select English over here. And in the third column it says I'm applying for one or more of the following. So in this case you have to select the first option which says apply for a study permit for the first time or extend my study permit. So basically you are applying for extension of your study permit, so you will click on this particular option. Then comes personal details. So in the case of personal details, over here you can give the family name, and that is your last name. So you can fill your family name, let's say Singh, and then let's say Raj. Okay, so you can give your family name, that is your last name, and then you can give your first name over here in this particular column. Then in 2 it says have you ever used any other name. So if you have used any other name you can mention that. Let's say I've not used, so you will select no over here. And then you have to mention you have to select whichever sex it is, so you can select it based on that. So let's say you select male. Then you have to fill your date of birth over here. Let's say you select you fill the date of birth over here. And then you have to fill your place of birth, which is your city or town of birth. Then you have to select the city or country or territory. So let's say you select you write Mumbai over here. And then in country or territory you look for, let's say, India. Okay. And then it will ask you that what is your citizenship, current citizenship. So you can select the name of the country where your citizenship is, let's say India. Then you can say current country, or then you have to fill the details about your current country or territory of residence. So let's say you are in Canada and you're applying for this study permit extension, and you have to select one of the status in the drop down. So you are selecting student over here. So this will become blurred. You don't have to fill anything over here. Then it dates, so you can fill the dates. So over here you have to fill today's date. And then two, so till the validity of your visa. Let's say your visa is valid till 31st of January 2023, so you will select the two date over here. And then in the eighth option it says previous countries or territories of residence. So it is asking you to fill if you have resided in any other country. So during the past 5 years, have you lived in any country or territory other than your country of citizenship or your current country or territory of residence for more than 6 months? So if you have resided for more than 6 months in another country, then in that case you have to select yes. Let's say if you have not resided and you have been in Canada for more than 6 months, and prior to that you were in your country from where you hold your citizenship, so you can select no over in this option and you can move on. So the next thing is you have to select in the ninth point, you have to select the marital status. Let's say you select single over here. So in the next columns you don't have to fill anything. However, if you select married over here, so in that case it will ask you if you are married or in common law relationship, provide the date on which you were married or entered into a common law relationship. So you have to provide the official date of your marriage over here. Okay, so you can select the date. So you can select the date and year. Let's say you got married in 2021 July 23rd. Okay, so you can fill it that way. Then you have to provide the details about your spouse, so you can provide the details about your spouse family name, and then you have to give the details about his first name. So that is what you have to fill it over here. So now let's see what is there in the second page. So once you have filled your first page, then you have to fill this particular page over where you have to give personal details. It is being continued. So the first question it asks is, have you previously been married or in common law relationship? So let's say you say no over here. So all these will become blurred. You don't have to fill these details. Then next is languages. So it is asking for your native language or mother tongue. So let's say I enter Hindi. Okay, so all these options are there. You can select one of the native language or mother tongue. Then are you able to communicate in English? So you can select the language, like let's say you want to select English. And have you taken a test from a designated testing agency to assess your proficiency in English or French? So depending on whether you have taken it or not, you can select yes or no. Then you have to give your passport details over here. So you can give your passport number. Then you can give your country or territory of issue where it has been issued. Let's say it has been issued in India, so you can give this. From the drop down you can select India. Then you have to give the issue date over here. So you can go over here and you can select the year when it was being issued. So let's say it was issued on this date, and then you can select one of the expiry date over here. So you can go to the year again and you can select the expiry date. Let's say you select this date. So that is your expiry date for your passport. Next question, it has already blurred since you selected India over here. And then it says national identity document. So do you have a national identity document? So for this, what I did was I considered passport as my national identity document, so I marked yes over here, and I gave the document number, the passport number, which I filled on this particular box, the same text box, the same number I filled in the document number over here. Then correct, select the country of that has issued that particular national identity document. So you can again select the country where it was being issued. Then you can write the issue date similar to the one that you have mentioned above, and expiry date similar to the one that you have mentioned in your passport, if you are giving passport as your national identity document. Then the next question is, are you a lawful PR of the United States with a valid alien registration card? So let's say I fill no over here. Then it asks for your contact information. So you have to give the details about your PO box, your apartment unit number, your street number, your street name, city or town, and your country. By default it says Canada because you're applying for an extension and you're already in Canada. And you can select the province, whichever province you want to select. The code is being given over here, and then you have to write the postal code over here. Then let's say your residential address, the address where you are residing currently is same as the current mailing address, so you will select yes over here. So it will take the address from above only. Then third part it says telephone number. You can select, let's say, cellular, and you can give your telephone number over here. Then if you want to give your alternate telephone number, then you can also give it over here by selecting cellular and then your phone number. Then you can mention your email address over here in order to get the updates, and in order to complete this application it will be a good option to give your email address in this particular column. Then the next thing is coming into Canada. So you have to give all your information, that when you came to Canada and which city you landed in. So that is something that you have to give over here. Like it says date and place of your original entry to Canada. So let's say you select a date when you entered in Canada. Okay, so let's say you came in July and you select the date, and then you enter the place. Let's say you came to some any port of entry, Vancouver, Toronto, whatever you want to enter. You whatever is your actual original entry to Canada, that place name you have to enter over here. Then it says original purpose for coming to Canada. So from this drop down you can select study over here. Then date and place of your most recent entry to Canada, if not the same as the original entry. So basically in between, if you went to some other place or you went to your home country, so in that case you can select the date, and again you can mention the place over here. So it says, if applicable, provide the document number of the most recent visitor record, study permit, work permit, or temporary resident permit issued to you. So basically, you have to provide the document number that is mentioned on your study permit that was given to you once you came down to Canada. So that document number you have to provide it in this particular column. Then you have to give the details of intended study in Canada. So you have to give the name of school. So let's say you mention the name of any University of Regina, let's say. Then your level of study, you have to select it over here. At what level of study are you coming for your studies? So let's say master's degree. Then your field of study will be, so you have to select one of the field of studies. So in my case, it was computer science, so I selected computing and IT. And then you have to fill the province over here for that particular school in which you are being selected or you're pursuing your studies, and town, city or town where the school is. Okay, so you select the town or city where your current school is, and then you give the address of that particular university of school, which you have mentioned in this particular column. Then there is a DLI number which is associated with the university, which you can find it online once you Google it. Mention the name of the university, you will get a DLI number which you can fill it over here. And you should fill your student ID as well if you are currently enrolled in that particular university or school. And then you have to mention the duration of expected study, like from when. So in that case, you can enter today's date till when. So that is something you can select based on when is your studies coming to an end. So you can select that particular date. And then you have to enter the cost of my studies will be. So basically, you have to give a rough idea of what is your tuition fees and different expenses. So let's say you enter your tuition fees over here, room and board. Let's say you enter some figure over here in Canadian dollars, and some other expenses, let's say 5,000. And funds will be available for my stay in CAT. So how much fund you have currently in your account. So basically, I think for this particular application you should have minimum $10,000 to show for this particular application. So you can mention your expenses or funds for your stay in Canadian dollars over here. So even if you don't have your funds in your Canadian bank, so what you can do is, back in your home country, you can get the details of those funds that are present, and you can convert that to CAD, and you can mention the amount in this particular column. So let's say you enter $15,000 over here. Okay, and then next, my expenses in Canada will be paid by. So let's say you are paying your expenses, so you can select myself, and in case your parents are paying your expenses, so you can select parents over here. Okay. Then, in addition to study permit, are you also applying for work permit? So maybe you are applying for your co-op work permit or any other kind of work permit. So in this case, I selected no. So you can also select depending on your situation, whichever you want to select, whether you are applying for a work permit along with your study permit or not. Then it will ask about your educational details. So it will be asking that, have you had any post secondary education? So if your answer is yes, so you can enter the details over here. So in this case, I entered my university education, the current education that I'm pursuing. So you can enter from when you started your education until when you are hoping it will get over. So that date you can enter, and then you can give the details about field and level of studies. So let's say for me, I entered masters computer science over here, and then your school or faculty name. So you can enter the name of the university or the school which you are pursuing your education. So let's say you enter University of Regina over here, name of the town where it is, and then country or territory. You can select Canada over here, and you can enter Canada. Okay, and then you can select the province as well over here. Okay, so that is how you can fill this particular part of the application. Next comes employment details. So you have to give the details of your employment for the past 10 years, including if you have held any government positions. So you have to give all these details over here in this particular employment column. So you let's say you are working you are working in an organization and you want to give the details. So let's say you are working from January 2022 and till now you are working in that organization. So you can give to date, and you can mention, and then you can give what is your current occupation. So let's say you're working as a um, software developer somewhere as a part-time job, and then you mention the name of the company, let's say Google, and then let's say city or town where this company is, so let's say Regina. Okay, and then country or territory, so you can fill Canada over here. Okay, and then the province where this company is, so you can fill that detail. And then back in your home country also you have worked somewhere, so you can provide those details as well over here. So let's say you have worked in 2021. Okay, so your previous occupation was also software engineer, let's say your company was TCS. Okay, and till when you have worked, let's say you have worked till 2021 May. Okay, and then the town you have to mention, so you mention the town where you worked and then mention the country where you have worked. Okay, so this way you can fill the employment details. And if you have more number of companies for which you have worked and this is not a sufficient place, so what you can do is, mm, I'll tell you what you have to do in that case at the end of the video, so keep watching. So that is a case in many people face this particular situation where they have more than 3 employers and they want to fill the details of that employment in the past 10 years, so you can fill that as well. So let's first complete this form, then I will show you how you can actually fill this particular part as well if you have more than 3 employers to be declared in your form. So now you have to fill your background information. So you must complete this section if you are 18 years of age or older. So in this first thing it says is, within the past 2 years, have you or your family member ever had the tuberculosis of the lungs or been in close contact with a person with tuberculosis? Let's say no. Then in B, do you have a physical or mental disorder that require social or health services? So these are some of the basic questions about your background which you have to fill. Then you can just go through these questions and you can fill them. So then it says, have you previously applied to enter or remain in Canada? So in this question, since I applied earlier for my study permit, so I'll say yes, and I will mention the details. And in the details, I can say that I applied for student visa earlier. Okay, so I can give this particular detail so that the visa officer, he knows that okay, earlier I applied, I'm referring to that particular visa over here. Then, have you ever committed or being arrested? Let's say you select no over here. And then these are some of the general questions about your background, you can fill them. And then some more background information which you have to fill, you mark no over here. Then it says that, do you consent to be contacted by CIC or an organization at CIC's request in the future? So I marked yes over here. So if they have any questions or if they need any other documents, they can contact me through email ID. And then over here, you can give your signature. Okay, so you can mark your signature over here. And then you can select the date. So you can select the current date over here. So, and finally, when you are done with this, you have to click on validate. So that will generate certain barcodes at the end of your application, which is required um, by the IRCC. So what you can do is, once you have filled this particular application, you can save this particular application. And once you have saved this application, you can upload it to the place where it says that you have to upload this particular application. And one more thing which I wanted to tell you guys is, so let's say in case of employment, you have an employment history which require you to fill for more than 3 employers. So what you can do in that case is, you can basically convert this particular file. uh, you can take a new file where you can fill this particular details, you can convert it into a PDF and you can break that particular PDF, and then you can write a letter to the visa officer, and in that letter you can mention that okay, I'm attaching my employment history since I worked for more number of employers than the space that is being given. So I'm attaching that particular printout or the page with this particular application, so please consider it. So that is how I did it. You can try doing it that way, because when I tried to attach those spaces to this particular application, it was giving me validation error and it was not allowing me to upload the document where I need to upload this IMM5709 form. So in that case, I took this route. So you can also try looking into that particular way, that you can upload the pages in the other section where it is being given, that if you want to give extra information or where you enter the letter of explanation, so at that particular page you can actually upload your document with extra employment history. So that's it for today, and thank you for watching. And if you liked the video and it was helpful for you, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.